biggest buck of my life. Oh my God. Thank you. I have been after this buck for 4 years. I have been working this land for 5 years. And I've just never seen deer like that. You know, they'd come through, but never get shots at them. And this buck 2 years ago ran this ridge. And I put this stand up last year and I never really hunted it. It's really uncomfortable, and only to my east side here is, you know, you sit higher, but to the west, you're only like 10 feet off the ground. And I don't know, I wasn't going to come this morning. We had an east wind, but he started showing up on my cameras last night, and I noticed it was last Sunday, and you know, just anytime he shows up on camera, he's out and he's running around. Last Sunday, he was out running around at noon and at 4 o'clock, and I was sitting 100 yards and I couldn't get a shot. I didn't even see him. And this morning, I mean, I don't even know what time it is. It's 7 o'clock. I don't freaking know what the time changed. But I just looked down below me here, and he was down in the ridge, and I'm like, oh my God, he's coming. It's about, I don't know, 7:15 this morning. It was real calm out. It was nice. There was a little bit of an east-southeast wind, which, you know, out here I've got a stand that I put up 2 years ago for this deer that I named Wolverine because he ran this ridge on our west side all the time, and haven't sat in it much, but we had a southeast east wind this morning, so that stand is perfect. It's a little pinch point between the fields and you know, my place. And I started getting pictures last night of this buck. Haven't seen him in a week, or had pictures of him in a week, but he was all over out here last night. So I knew I had to get in the stand this morning, and you know, it was about 7:15, like I said, and I looked down on the ridge below, and here he is, and I glassed him, and I couldn't believe that was him. Haven't laid eyes on him in 2 years. He came right up the ridge and kind of messed around a bit, went out into the field in front of me, and actually then circled back in and hopped the fence and came in and gave me about a 23, 25 yard shot, somewhere in there. I was set at 25. I stopped him, you know, he looked right up at me, and I stuck him, and I know the shot was maybe a little high, but it cleared right through him. He went out in the field in front of me and was at about 71, 72 yards with his hind end looking right at me. So I couldn't get another shot there, which, you know, I'm glad I didn't shoot, because he circled back around into me and bedded down about 80 yards to my north. And I just sat and watched him, and he actually laid his head down. And then there was a couple does that came in, and they were kind of investigating him and whatnot, and he got back up again once they kind of went up. I mean, they went right up to him. But he couldn't move very well, and he was real hunched. His back was arched, and he kind of laid back down again. And, you know, then does kind of were still milling around, so he tried getting up again, and you know, he did, and he kind of just went over the bench, and I kind of lost sight of him. I saw some trees and some branches kind of moving, so my guess is he bedded back down. It's about 12:15 now, so we've given him about 5 hours, and we're gonna head in real slow, real quiet, and locate that arrow and try to get a read on the arrow of where the shot actually hit, and you know, how bad he's wounded. I know he's hurt, and I got a real good feeling that he's mortally wounded, but you know, he's a big deer and he's not going to give up without a fight. So we're gonna go in and see what we can find out, and hopefully we're coming out with a nice big buck. So let's get on it and see what we can find.
that sliver. He's probably not too far away.
Oh, he'd be just right over here.
His neighbor got a tree stand.
That's mine.
His first bed was where? He had a better angle going that way.
Well, the only thing that stand I'm talking about follows this bench all the way around.
I don't know how far down is it.
Straight 100 yards that way. But I don't know. I mean, I got half a mind to just sneak up in there. I mean, it's been 5 hours. I don't know.
The fence line goes like this, right?
What?
That fence stays right here.
Yeah, it goes straight down like that. He's probably on the other side of
This
this.
is always that high, though.
It drops down.
Alright.
It's all broken down here.
If we go real quiet, get up there. We'll just watch it for a little bit, but I think he's done.
I think so too.
Give me some. Nice job. That's it right there, brother.
I could never imagine being able to shoot something like that. I'm just working my butt off out here for 5 years. Oh my God. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Congratulations. I don't think he's going anywhere.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna zoom in on him quick. I don't even know if the camera's picking it up. And if it doesn't move by the time you get to that, Jerry, you're good.
stiff too. In there, probably. Oh my God. Look at his neck. Look at that thing.
How's that feel after a few years, brother?
Oh my God.
That's a giant. That's Wolverine, right?
Yeah. Let's see, 2016, maybe 15. I know 16 was the first year I got a picture of him. And the first picture I got him was only just these 3 tines sticking up in front of the camera. And the only thing I could think of when I saw that picture was it looks like Wolverine. Wolverine's, claws. So I've been calling him Wolverine, and I'm not really into naming deer, but I named this one. And 2017, he ran this ridge. I mean, mainly this ridge from mid to late October and into November, and he broke off his whole right side. All he had was his main beam, and I had 2 chances I could have shot him, and I didn't, because he was all broke off. And last year I thought he was a different deer, and I got a couple pictures of him early September, and then there was another buck that just had a split right here that was real big and heavy just like him, and I never got eyes on him. I got pictures of him all the time at night, and then daylight pictures after we got home from North Dakota, and never saw him then. And then I started in July, after my wedding, my daughter and I started driving around in Glasson, and we saw that one from last year and this one and 2 others that were about the same size across the road. And I got a ton of film through my spotting scope with them, and I just remember my daughter saying, well, I'm going to take that one and you can have him. And I didn't have any pictures of him over here until October 16th. I was leaving in the morning and my camera went off at 6:45, and I knew it was him right away. And then that day he showed up on this ridge, and I was at soccer practice with Marlo, and at 5:30, and then he just kept showing up, and he kept showing up. And last week I was checking cameras, and it was 11:30, and he walked right next to me at 15 yards grunting and laid down next to me. And it was midday. It was 60 degrees last Sunday. Today it's not even, it's maybe 40.
Not even.
And we've had snow all week, but I didn't get any more pictures of him until last night. He showed up in my bean field in my sugar beets and radish field that I got on the other side of the property, and he showed up 15-20 minutes later after I got out of the stand. So I knew he was probably just sitting up there watching me. And then at 10 o'clock I got another picture of him, and I woke up this morning. I wasn't sure if I was going to go. We had east winds, but I had tons of pictures of him. And I told my wife, I said, he's out, he's moving. And we had a southeast wind, east wind, which usually isn't good out here, but the stand up top that I set that stand up there 2 years ago for him, because he always ran that little pinch point, and he's bottlenecked in within like 20 yards, 25 yards, And this morning I just said, I'm gonna go sit up there. Marlo's got a soccer game at 11, see what happens. And I mean, it wasn't 7 o'clock, and I looked down the ridge, all the way down at this ridge down here, and he was down in all these dead trees moving. And I you know, first time I got glass on him, you know, in 2 years, besides, you know, in the summer. And I was almost just, I couldn't believe it. He was coming up the hill, and I'm like, he's gonna give me a shot. And he ran out in the field for a while and just kept circling around, and then he ran back and he stopped, and he got downwind of me and he stopped, and I'm like, oh, that's it. Well, he kept going, and he went about another 15 yards. I drew back and I stopped him. He looked right at me, and I stuck him, and I knew the shot was a little high and a little back, which it was. He went out in the field 70 yards and stood there, and I wasn't able to get another shot. But then he circled back around and bedded down behind me about 60, 70 yards and just laid there until some does came through. And he got up, and I could see, I mean, he was hurt real bad. And he went back down again, and he got back up, and he went back down, and then I lost him just over the top of the hill here. And that's when, you know, Carl had said that he'd come out, and I was like, yes, please come out, so I don't screw this up. And I got out of the stand, waited for Carl, and we went out and saw his brother-in-law's great deer this morning, and I'm so thankful that we waited and waited and waited, and I just can't believe it. I mean, I have been on this land for a little over 5 years. It's actually my wife's now, my wife's. And I started working at, you know, no equipment, nothing, just little food plots, grow and throw, and, you know, started getting into it a little bit more. And it's just a 40-acre, you know, parcel really. And we're right on the edge of town, and I can't believe it. I can't believe it. And been hit with CWD real bad, but, you know, it's been bouncing back, and I can't believe that the deer around here, I mean, I just can't even believe this. I really don't have anything to say. I'm just in shock. I never would have thought I'd be able to shoot a deer of this caliber, and especially on my own land, and, you know, something that I've worked when it was raw and got it to what it is, and that just makes it so much more. I'm just...
Fruits of your labor, brother.
I just can't, and I can't thank you enough.
Hey, yeah, you're welcome,
for
man.
everything with bows and equipment and coming out here, and
that's what friends do, brother.
Dude.
Congratulations.
So
that's a giant. That's a great deer.
You know, and I can't wait to text my dad. And I've been wanting to text him all morning, but I didn't.
We'll get some good pictures.
Yeah. Yeah. We got to get him out of here.
Well, we'll take some good pictures right here first.
We'll hopefully hit the farmer up. He'll let us come down here, I'm sure, and get him out. Otherwise, I'm pretty brave in a four-wheeler, so I've been down here before in it.
We'll get there.
Him out, and just thanks to my wife, I mean, for putting up with me all these years of deer hunting and everything, and thanks again, Carl, and just, you know, everybody at Rush Outdoors, and I couldn't be any happier. This is great. It's November 3rd, you know, and the last, I don't know, I've put not a ton of time in this year. I've been real careful about where I sit and when I sit. And I mean, in the back of my head, all I've thought about is this deer and almost, you know, nothing else. There's maybe one other deer I've seen that I was hoping I wouldn't see, because I just kept thinking, like, when it gets to gun season, I won't see him until next year if he survives. And it was really, this is the only deer I've wanted this year and wanted to shoot. And even for more than just this year. And it's a hell of a story. It's something, man, it's something you can't describe. Well, we finally got him out of the ravine, or whatever. we went in and found him, obviously, and
we got him out, which was a lot more work than it looked like it was supposed to be, but it worked. And again, thanks, Carl. We put the score tape on him. He came just about 162, and like I said earlier, I don't really have words for this. You know, we've just been sitting here talking about it and talking about just everything with owning land and, you know, finding a deer and watching it grow up and actually then being able to harvest it and, you know, everything that goes with it. And I mean, it's just a beautiful thing. And I mean, I really don't have a lot of words to describe the actual feelings of, you know, when I think about everything. You know, this deer's been on my mind since 2016, and now he's in the back of my truck right now, and he's at my house, and I just couldn't be more happy, and I couldn't be more happy to share this with Carl and then be able to, you know, show everybody and, you know, just talk about, you know, the whole works with hunting and working your land and then harvesting and then enjoying it. I mean, it's unbelievable, and it's a great feeling. I couldn't be more grateful.
Congrats.
Thanks, buddy.
You bet.